Hello, my name is Connor Heaney, and I'm the Collections Manager for the Ray and Diana Harryhausen Foundation. The foundation is a charity which was established by legendary stop-motion animator Ray Harryhausen during his lifetime in order that his incredible collection would be preserved, displayed, and where appropriate, restored for future generations to enjoy. The foundation's collection consists of some 50,000 items. And we at the foundation are very proud to have taken part in a restoration programme in order to ensure that some of Ray's most fragile and most beloved creations can continue to be enjoyed for many years to come. The Foundation's collection consists of items dating as far back as 1933, when a young Ray Harryhausen was taken to see King Kong at Grauman's Chinese Theatre in Los Angeles. He walked away from that film feeling inspired and immediately set to work creating models of his own. Throughout the 20th century, Ray was responsible for the special effects on such classics as Jason and the Argonauts, 1 Million Years BC, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Clash of the Titans, and many more, including the film you're about to see today. The stop-motion models used in Ray's films are primarily made of latex rubber, an organic material which naturally decays over time. Ray was well aware that his models may not last for decades unless treatment was applied to prevent them from deteriorating. Throughout his lifetime, Ray would take very good care of his own models and repair them where necessary. Towards the later years of his life, he realised that he would require assistance and that the foundation would need somebody to continue working upon these models in years to come. He hired special effects artist Alan Friswell to restore some of the models from his collection. And we at the foundation are delighted to continue working with Alan on ensuring that these models will survive for generations to come. Alan worked closely with Ray and probably most importantly spent many hours talking with Ray about the best way to prevent future deterioration and what materials should be used to repair parts which had deteriorated or fallen off entirely. One example of a legendary creation which was in a very poor condition is Talos from Jason and the Argonauts. Talos, circa 2017, was simply too fragile to be moved, let alone be publicly displayed. The latex rubber from Talos had deteriorated quite severely and was at risk of crumbling away entirely. All of the models which are currently on display at the Ray Harryhausen Titan of Cinema exhibition have been in some way assessed or conserved by Alan Friswell. But exhibition or no exhibition, these models needed to be looked at and restored. Talos now stands proudly amongst all of Ray's other creations from Jason and the Argonauts at Modern 2. Other notable restoration pieces include Gwangi from the Valley of Gwangi, the Hydra, and the mighty Kraken from Clash of the Titans. What you're about to see is a behind-the-scenes look at some of Alan's work upon the Kali model from the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. As Alan explains, this was one of the most deteriorated and fragile models from the entire collection. And hopefully this video will give you an insight into some of the work that we've been carrying out on Ray's entire collection. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoy the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Find out more about the work of the Foundation through our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yes, it's more fragile than probably anything we've actually dealt with before. The latex has actually deteriorated from inside. We've had this with some of the models, but this is probably the most extreme example. It's very fragile, and if you put any pressure on any part of the model, it'll actually turn into powder. So this is undoubtedly the most delicate thing we've come across yet. It may be that the latex wasn't quite up to the standard of the other models. That sometimes happened with Ray's figures, but also the model went through so much in the film. She comes to life, comes down the stairs, her arms are always moving, she does a dance, and of course she grows 6 swords from her hands, and there's a huge fight with Sinbad and 2 of his men. So she probably did more on screen than any other creature in that film, really, and went through an awful lot of manipulation, and of course that does fatigue the foam latex, and it can cause the model to deteriorate perhaps a bit more rapidly than some of the others. It's practically every part of the model. I can't really, looking at it, see any part of the model that doesn't need some kind of attention. The arms, again, a couple of the arms have practically crumbled away to nothing. The face needs stuff happening to it, it needs repair on the nose. The body's covered in cracks, pieces missing from all over. And the toes are missing, all of the fingers have to be replaced, so that's 30 fingers and thumbs that have to be rebuilt. And the whole model, there are cracks and bits and pieces missing all over the figure. It's probably the most damaged of all of Ray's models so far, I think. Similar to the other stuff that I've been using, but this is a liquid form. It's like it has the consistency of water, but this has the property of actually dissolving. It absorbs into the structure of the model itself. So it actually it binds the molecules together from inside. So whereas it was very crumbly now and extremely delicate in terms of touching it, when the treatment's been applied, it'll be very solid and it'll be much more manoeuvrable. You can actually be able to pick it up without too much trouble. And of course the restoration work that comes after that, the rebuilding of the parts that are missing, will be much more straightforward. Yeah, well, the first stage is to coat it with this material that will soak into the actual substance, and that will stabilise the whole thing. Then it will be restored as the other models have been, with actual resculpturing of different bits and pieces, and then it'll be coated again with a polymer coating that will protect it, but also gives it its original colour back as well. I saw a clip of it on TV. I saw it on a re-release, and I saw a clip as an interview with Ray, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was incredible, and it has a magical feel to it. It looks so authentic as a kind of an Indian statue. It looks very, very, very believable. It's very accurate looking, and there was a magical quality to it. The synchronisation of the arms, the way it would move, it was just an incredible piece of animation, and I think that was one of the reasons why the film was so successful, because of that particular sequence in the movie. And as a kid, I remember, again, like so many of Ray's models, trying to build this modern plasticine. And I always remember particularly trying to get the bracelets right on the arms, to try and get those as accurate as I could, and getting the necklaces correct with the details and everything. So obviously sitting here with the real model is an incredible experience for me.